Hi, welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Up, the Facebook page on YouTube. So, if you'd watched my last video, I was basically blaming everybody for the state of the DCU's Justice League. Even though I enjoyed the film, there are still those people that have problems with it, especially the word going around that it's not really Zack's film, and it was a lot of mashes going on. There's lots of, the composer wasn't the same one. So I thought I'd try to make this video basically pointing the blame to one person or one company, and that is Warner Brothers. Now, the reason why I'm going to point the blame at Warner Brothers is because they're the ones at the top. They're the ones that make the decisions. Now, when Man of Steel came out and everything was okie dokie, it made some money, still some mixed responses to the way it was shot, but it was a direction new to Warner Brothers, and it was a lot better than the previous film that came out. Now, as Zack Snyder made BVS, he made a longer cut film that we never got until the extended edition, the ultimate cut. Now, Warner Brothers, seeing Zack, they decided to cut his film, but on the promise that an extended edition will be released, and it was, even in the cinema for a short time. So as they made this decision, and because of the Rotten Tomato score and everything else, when the Ultimate Edition came out, people were more positive. But then again, people had not bothered going to see a special edition as well, because they sort of know the story, and why should we bother be looking at another 30 or 40 minutes. But overall, I would say the majority of people were switched. The scenario night and day came up, the amount of differences between the one that was cinema release and the one that Zack Snyder made. So people were now in the ideas of, maybe Warner Brothers has learned the lesson, and now that if Justice League was to be made, and forget if Zack Snyder believes that the film should be longer, then they should leave it at that, because of what they found out through BVS. But it wasn't. Nor did they learn the lesson from Suicide Squad, when cuts were made to Suicide Squad and re-editing, supposedly believed to be done by the people that made the trailers. That is just a rumour. So, no, they somehow never listened. Now, we like to think that Warner Brothers have people out there listening to the critics and listening to what people that watch the films on the reviews, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. We somehow feel that Warner Brothers is not listening to the people that are actually paying the money to take the tickets. Saying that though, they did change the tone of the film to try to make they tried to change the tone of Justice League to try and bring more people in. So there is a wee hint of proof that they are actually listening. But is it such a drastic change to make? Now, could we blame the fact that Zack Snyder went on to go on to Wonder Woman with the help of Jeff Johns? Now, Wonder Woman was a success, critical as well, because it was a film that was shaped within the 2-hour period and it felt smoothly run. And Jeff Johns still had. Now, because it was run, is it Zack Snyder fault then, because he can't make a film that goes for 2 hours. Now, he did say once before that Justice League would be shorter, but that still is not the case, unless by shorter he means by a couple of minutes. He did say he always planned for Justice League film to be short. Now, during all this case, there was definitely a campaign by the actors to go and see the film, and that there was no problem between the switch around between the two directors. They had different visions, and we were promised that it would be still Zack Snyder feel of the film, but it was different. So as Zack Snyder, so Warner Brothers, knowing that Zack cannot make a film for two, that can't seem to make a film run for just 2 hours, maybe it was their mistake for hiring Zack to do the Justice League, because they are the men on top. Also, Jeff Johns, he spends most of his time, as you say, now I'm sure had a lot to do with Justice League. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe he didn't, because most of the time he likes to report that he's spending a lot of time on his comics just now, on the Doomsday Clock and on the Rebirth, where we actually desperately need of somebody of Kevin Feige caliber that can really guide the future of these films along. Yes, we have Zack Snyder, but again, he is only one man, and we need somebody that really, and says yes, all three of them worked on Wonder Woman, and now Zack Snyder is leaving Justice League, and he's now spending his time on Wonder Woman 2, and he's not went to any of the premieres. I believe he still hasn't even seen Justice League, so we don't really know the backstory of what is behind the scenes. Yes, he's probably gutted of Justice League, but then why stay with Warner Brothers? Why stay with a franchise that seems to be crushing his films? Do we know the whole story? This is it. Maybe Warner Brothers just owns Zack right out, and they're not releasing him to make any films unless he helps guide Warner Brothers DC franchise. It's all confusing, it's all complex. Again, there is a petition out for Zack Snyder's film, and we're split down the middle with does it exist or not, because it could be another couple of £1 million in order to finalise it and put it in a film. And then again, where is the musician, where is the music? Would we have to hire the composer back in again? Now, the composer, I believe, he wrote the music for the film without seeing any footage. He was really doing it off sheets of paper, which is definitely not common for how a composer normally scores the music. And again, Danny Elfman now gets the blame, which we shouldn't really point the finger to. And again, was it Warner Brothers to change the music? Was it? We can't blame Joss Whedon. He was just doing what Warner Brothers asked him to do, or what Zack Snyder asked him to do. Then, of course, Joss Whedon probably at the start was ready to just to finalise his 2 hour and 45 minutes, and then Warner Brothers stepped in and says, no, Joss, we want you to cut it down to 2 hours. Probably then, hence why he is now liking negative tweets about Justice League, because he feels himself he has been ripped off by Warner Brothers, and by probably helping mess up his friend Zack Snyder's film by doing with Warner Brothers. We will never know the real story, but it just seems sus that Zack Snyder is still spending time helping out with the DC, because he loves DC. We just don't really, at this moment, love Warner Brothers, and we hope whatever happens in the next year that Warner Brothers will come out and make some statement, but we know they won't. So maybe the petition is a good idea. I've nothing happens with the petition, which I believe it won't happen, let's just hope that Warner Brothers do listen to the fans and listen to the voice of the people. Not much is to the critics, but to the people who pay for the cinema tickets. We can see on a light note, though, that Warner Brothers may have made the right choice, because we don't know if this footage would have actually made the film any better. Yes, it would have had great some scenes, but I'm sure they would have tested it with a test audience, and maybe the test audience had said this previous film worked out better, this edited cut out version works better. But again, the one major problem that Warner Brothers has is they like to believe that, apart from Kevin Feige, Warner Brothers has always said that they like to leave the director's creativity and let the directors make the film. And that has not been the case, and I think for me that is the major issue, because that is the one reason I use to defend Warner Brothers and their franchises, because they say all the time that when they hire a director, it's their director and they step back. But now, for the last couple of films, including Suicide Squad, BVS, and now Justice League, they've meddled in the directors. We may have to wait 20 years like we did with Christopher Reeve's Richard Donner's Superman cut. But most of us may not be alive to wait to see that go. So what is it to do now? Again, we just have to live in hope that the future films from DC, that we get more information from Warner Brothers, and more assurance that whatever director goes and makes a film, that they have a hands off. Right now we can just enjoy the Justice League movie that we have, and support the DC franchise. So as we know, kids, when they see these films, they don't know anything about what's going on behind the scenes, so it's only us adults that have the problem. So let's just, bring out the inner child in us and just love it for what Justice League is. Our comics come to life. And a not bad movie. Thanks very much. This Man of Steel rant over.